No, I won't toe the party line. Long live free speech. Long live independent thinking.
Welcome to TaraElla News, where we examine the latest political and cultural news from the perspective of upholding classical liberal values like individual freedom, equal opportunity, and free speech. We'll be doing this on most days of the week. Subscribe if you're interested. Today, I want to respond to the recent live discussion with Theryn Meyer on the ContraPoints subreddit. I will talk about general political stuff first, and I will deal with the trans-related stuff in the second half of the video. Theryn used to be a popular YouTuber on the right side of the YouTube political spectrum. As perhaps the first big trans YouTuber with right-leaning views, many were interested in what she had to say. I personally thought that the way she saw things was quite interesting, even if I didn't always agree. More recently, her politics changed, she closed down her channel, and she then started working for Natalie Wynn of ContraPoints. Many of us have been curious about Theryn's political change, but I don't think we've learned anything new about that in this latest discussion. Basically, Theryn maintained that she was attracted to the political right because she wanted acceptance and validation from straight men who represented the status quo. These days, Theryn often sounds like the stereotypical left-wing person to me, which is, in my opinion, quite a disappointing way to be. Both the stereotypical progressive and the stereotypical conservative are one-dimensional and hence boring. I think Theryn's seeming complete disowning of her previous views is disappointing because it's too black and white for my tastes. I mean, she said some problematic things here and there, but there were some good insights too. While she certainly leaned to the right, her takes were quite nuanced at times, and she sounded thoughtful rather than copycat. She was certainly more interesting than your typical conservative or anti-sjw channel. At this point in Western history, I believe it's more important than ever that we have people who can see the nuance in things, and the Theryn that I used to watch certainly did that better than most. However, I am encouraged by the fact that some of the nuance of the old Theryn seems to still be there. For example, she said that it would be awesome to hear progressives talk more about men as a disadvantaged group. She went on to comment that it might not be a politically smart position, however, because people want easy answers more than correct but complicated ones. I mean, I would really appreciate having a commentator who can see the multiple dimensions of an issue like that and uncover the often complicated truth in the process. And I would subscribe to them no matter if they leaned left or right. Unfortunately, I don't think we have many people like that on YouTube nowadays. Maybe it's because everyone is trying so hard to pander to the people who want easy answers, and may I add, political tribalism. I personally hate easy answers and political tribalism more than anything else. Another theme that was sort of implicit in the discussion was how trans stuff and politics intersect. Theryn basically said that she thought she could gain acceptance from people by doing what she did, but now she doesn't think it would work for the whole community in the long run. I wish she could tell us more on what she means exactly. I mean, dialogue is always great, and talking to conservatives is much more productive than aligning with an ideologically driven left wing that only wants to use us to fight conservatives, in my opinion. It's also better for our mental health to reject the victim mentality of the postmodern new left. I actually think the old Theryn did a good job overall regarding trans issues. For example, I am of the strong opinion that it's necessary to call out individuals who essentially ruin our collective reputation by their reckless actions, and Theryn seems to agree that it's better if trans people like Blair White did it rather than someone like Ben Shapiro. However, what Blair White doesn't understand is that the imbalanced coverage on her channel gives an overall biased picture of trans people, and her whole image revolving around being the so-called normal one can be taken to imply that the rest of the community is full of weird people. Of course, the reverse is true. That is, normal trans people are the vast majority and the bad apples are a small minority. The old Theryn used to be compared to Blair, but I think Theryn actually did it better because she understood things like this. That's all for today. I'll be back next time to discuss another big idea. Subscribe if you want to follow our story. The transcripts are available on the internet. And remember to resist the hive mind and stay individualistic. The world depends on it.